It's always Gold FM for us at Golden Point, Raki Raki.
Gold FM is #1 in Lusaka.
Gold FM is Nandi's best radio station.
It's always Gold FM with us here in Singapore.
Old is gold and Gold FM is #1 here in Lusaka.
Singapore loves classic hits on Gold FM.
Listen to Gold FM here in Tagua.
We love Gold FM in Bang.
We've got beautiful beaches, people, and Gold FM in Raki Raki.
Lusaka loves the classic hits on Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In this bulletin, electoral commissioners meet for the first time. Foreshore reclamation grinds to a halt as funds run out. And serious crimes increased in the West last year. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The Electoral Commission held its first meeting today for a briefing on progress made towards the elections. The Commission met with Minister for Elections Aisaid Qayyum and Acting Supervisor Elections Mohammed Saneem. Edwin Nand has more.
The Commission, led by Chairman Chen Banyang, will be sorting out the Elections Office priorities over the coming days and weeks.
We have a very active role in its appointment. We're not here to rubber stamp something. We're here to vet it, and we would expect the government to properly consult us, and we don't have any doubts that they will, and we will give our opinion on who we think would be suitable for that particular position.
Yang says while the elections regulations are still being drafted, there are other aspects of the preparations that need attention.
It's a mistake to say, well, give us all the drafts. I think once they're satisfied with what they think is a draft which they think they're happy to hand over to us, I think that's when, instead of duplicating work, I think that'll be the best time when we take a look at it, and it'll be all hands on board.
You don't need the regulations for the Commission to continue with its work.
Right.
The point is that the Commission has a lot already to do, and of course the regulation will touch on some aspects of the elections, but in the meantime they've got a whole heap of areas to cover.
The members of the Commission have stressed they're independent and will carry out their role with diligence. Minister Aisaid Qayyum has confirmed the government will cut all ties with the Elections Office once a Supervisor of Elections has been appointed. For now, the Permanent Secretary for Justice, Mohammed Saneem, is acting supervisor.
A lot has been done, and I think we're heading in the right direction, and I think we can meet the timetables. I'm confident that we can.
Elections Office truly, for the first time, becomes independent, truly independent. It is critical for the building of strong institutions in Fiji that institutions such as Elections Office become truly independent, become standalone organizations where they're not just career paths for people within those organizations.
The elections regulation are in its final draft. The Commission expects to study it and make recommendations before the final version is made public. Fiji has until September to go to the polls. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
A foreshore reclamation aimed at protecting properties along the coastline of Laucala Beach estate outside Suva has come to a halt. The project, which started in October last year, has run out of money, leaving residents vulnerable to the effects of climate change. Mikalonga reports.
In fact, this area...
Spokesperson for concerned residents, Antoine De Ramon, says this 30-meter foreshore reclamation by the Nasinu Town Council is a failure.
The shoreline is still exposed to climate change, and now at high tide we can see that in fact the sea is still eroding our properties, which should not be the case after spending all this funding and the effort that was done.
The reclamation was funded by a UNDP JEF grant of around $50,000. The work came to a halt on 31st of December when all the money was used up. Antoine De Ramon says the original plan was to have 5 to 10 meters of coastal rehabilitation.
The residents of Mulay Road are determined to see that the original plan for this foreshore is implemented, and they're also determined to stop any activity that might affect their privacy.
Where we are standing at the moment should normally have been replanting of mangroves. We are very concerned also because of security problems. Every weekend now we have people coming here to drink.
I would like to see some mangrove swamps like this around the area, but we have some on this other side. We have further down, we have some mangrove swamps.
Residents have described the reclamation as an eyesore and have vowed to change things themselves if need be.
We would like National Town Council to stop reclaiming and go back to the original plan. If they cannot do it, we'll have to do it ourselves and perhaps seek another avenue, get other funding to continue what was originally planned.
Nasunu Special Administrator Moses Akama says with the original funding exhausted, new funding is now being sought. He asks residents to be patient, promising to complete what's being started. Nikolonga, FBC News.
The Fiji National University has received its accreditation from CPA Australia for all its accounting programs. CPA is one of 3 professional accounting bodies in Australia. Dr. Mahindra Reddy of FNU says CPA Australia is one of the largest global accounting bodies.
Once the students are graduating out of FNU, and they can then apply to CPA Australia, and there'll be a few other requirements that they need to fulfill, and they will become a CPA holder. So they don't have to do the undergraduate degree units again. So this will be taken by CPA as equivalent to the undergraduate degree in accounting in any other university in Australia and New Zealand.
Reddy says there will be no changes to the fee structure. 2 new professors have been appointed to strengthen the accounting program at FNU. The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation's website is being touted as one of the most popular in Fiji. The national broadcaster's website received an unprecedented 2.2 million views last year. Chanel Sivan reports the website could well be one of the most visited sites in the country.
www.fbc.com.fj was revamped just 2 years ago. Latest statistics show the country's only multimedia broadcaster has had over 2.2 million views last year. These numbers mean online content of news and entertainment is increasing, particularly in Fiji. FBC IT network engineer Samir Narayan says with the website providing everything from live radio, daily TV news and other popular local programs, it's no wonder the number of local and international visitors are so massive.
2.2 million is a huge number. It speaks volume. People all over the world watch FBC online, and there's a lot of programs that are online itself. Some of them are like our radio news, live streaming. We have YouTube and Facebook embedded in it. So it speaks for itself. 2.2 million is a huge number.
Independent IT gurus Oceanic Fiji, who research and analyze online content, says these numbers are extremely astounding for a small country like Fiji.
Just looking at the stat as is, 2.2 million views is quite impressive for a national website, and FBC team should be very happy that these numbers will only go up as the year continues and we go towards the elections. So getting 2.2 views per month is quite impressive.
We have people abroad, which are like people from Fiji, or we could say they are interested parties who wanna invest or probably see what Fiji is like. So they can see Fiji through the eyes of FBC.
Top 10 countries that visit this website include Australia, USA, New Zealand, Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan and Iraq.
See, the ongoing increase in FBC's online reach is good and demonstrates a growing online reader base in Fiji. Overall, what this demonstrates is there's a good trend going on with FBC. And what's good to note, we have been in this business for the last 8 years, and what's good to know that FBC is actually keen on getting the stats.
FBC says more local content will soon be available on its website, which will lead to more visitors getting all they need to know about Fiji by just one click. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Coming up after the break, 1,600 scholarships now available for sixth formers.
Today FM is #1 here in Singapore.
We love Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
I love Today FM because they play the awesome song.
Loto kasi love Today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Vuniva Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Bulan 2 sa Tolu FM, enapan 2 rakirai.
Bula FM namban 2 inosor.
Go etabo ke boto kola sa Bula FM nga.
Bula FM namban 2 korbu. Bula FM namban 2 sawa.
Bula FM namban 2 lotoka. Bula.
Namban 2 nam Bula FM memba.
Bula FM
namban 2 NSR in Singapore.
Dal talitak da warong nam Bula FM lotoka.
Ali akar warong Bula FM namban 2 NSR.
Bula FM namban 2 NSR.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The lack of hybrid vegetable seeds in Fiji is forcing local farmers to import them from overseas. According to the Fiji Crop and Livestock Council, the importation of possibly contaminated seeds without proper quarantine checks could pose a risk to the environment. Vosita Kotewasawasa reports.
The Fiji Crop and Livestock Council is investigating issues surrounding the importing of seeds into Fiji for use by the country's farmers. The Biosecurity Authority of Fiji and the Agriculture Ministry is working together to ensure that contaminated seeds are not brought into the country.
Any live animal or live plant product that is brought into Fiji can pose a risk to the biosecurity of our country. Now, this costs a lot of money to do, and therefore our farmers, our small farmers in particular, and a lot of our agriculture is based on our small farmers, are not able to afford.
Simon Cole says hybrid seeds offer better yield and is suitable for our climate and soil conditions.
I think it's important that we look at what's the importance of getting access to seeds. Well, new varieties and new seeds offer better yields, are better suited to our climate, give us better quality of product, and if you're looking at livestock, that gives you better stocking densities, better costs, better returns.
Cole adds that they are working closely with the Biosecurity Authority of Fiji and the Agriculture Ministry to ensure that local farmers get the seeds they want.
If our farmers are to meet their targets, if they're going to be able to export, if they're going to be able to achieve the targets that government wants us to achieve for quality and growth and sustainability and growth in the agricultural sector, it's important that we have access to the best seeds. Seeds are the beginning of everything in agriculture.
The Fiji Crop and Livestock Council says that it needs more funds to increase the variety of seeds in the country. Local farmers need to access the best available seeds to provide the best food crops for local consumption and for exports. Wasita Kotemwaswasa, FBC News.
Good news for Form 6 students. The Tertiary Scholarship and Loans Board has announced that for the first time there are 1,200 scholarships available. Board member Dr. Mahendra Reddy says any student who passes Form 6 can apply, but must enroll as soon as possible at any Fiji National University for a TVET program.
All Form 6 students who do not want to proceed to Form 7, they can now study at FNU in TVET program, fully paid from government's TVET scholarship. So any Form 6 student who have passed Form 6, who wants to undertake a trade program, they can come and enroll at FNU and full tuition will be paid by government.
$5 million has been allocated by the government for the scholarships, and Dr. Reddy is urging all sixth formers to apply when classes begin next Monday. Attorney General and Minister for Commerce Said Qayyum handed over 3 brand new vehicles to the Commerce Commission in Suva today. They will be used by the Commission for the regular inspection of outlets and surveillance. Said Qayyum reminded staff of the Commerce Commission of their duties and that fair trade practices are to always be carried out. While the national crime rate has dropped, a serious crime in the Western Division increased by 6% in the last year. Acting Police Commissioner Ravi Narayan has warned his officers in the West to relook at their current strategies because it's obviously not working. Shireen Lata reports.
Putting their best foot forward for their boss, but the police commissioner believes his men in the West can certainly do better.
West was unable to contribute that much as the other divisions have contributed. So in relation to the KPI of reduction of serious crime, West was not able to achieve its KPI. They only managed to achieve by 50%. The other 50% they were not able to do it. Similarly, on crime against women, so they were not able to achieve that as well.
Officers in the Western Division fell short of the target of reducing complaints and disciplinary offences against them by 50%. They almost made it, but 47% is not enough for the Commissioner.
Now onus on the DPC West and his men and women in the Western Division to work harder this quota and be able to achieve and bring improvement in the areas of reduction of crime against women, general crime and serious crime.
Ravi Narayan says his office continues to be flooded with complaints about service delivery, which boils down to inadequate systems and processes. The police chief is urging his officers to get the basics right, requiring them to reflect on their roles. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
That time again we turn to sports, and Jamie, what's the latest?
Well, good news for those who have eagerly awaited naming of the Fiji Sevens team. Coach Ben Ryan has made his final pick and we'll have the list after the break. Also coming up, National Football League ready to kick off this weekend. Stay with us for the details.
देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2 is number 1 in Singapore का।
मैं लंबासा के निवासी, मेरा नाम प्रेम चंद्रा है। देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2 को मेरा सलाम।
नैनी में देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2।
रेडियो फीजी 2 में देश की धड़कन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 is number 1 in Singapore।
नैनी में मेरा धड़कन है रेडियो फीजी 2।
हम ननुपुर के लिए रहता है और हम रेडियो फीजी 2 हरदम सुनता है।
हमें रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनो बहुत अच्छा लगे, आप भी रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनो।
देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2।
Talita na Radio Fiji 1 na mwira ni nondo konoa.
Ando talita kana borro na Radio Fiji 1 singa toka boleta ni station ni alumatu.
Ando talita ka bale una borro na Radio Fiji 1 station ni alumatu ilo toka.
Ando talita ka bale una borro na Radio Fiji 1 na mandi na station ni alumatu.
Au tu ko korbo ando borro mo leve na station ni alumatu na Radio Fiji 1. Do borro na Radio Fiji 1 na station ni alumatu na mandoi tele.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandu mo ibitin bonga ni BNN.
Welcome back. As mentioned earlier, the Fiji Sevens team to Las Vegas and Wellington has been named, and there aren't any surprises. Coach Ben Ryan has gone with the tried and tested. This includes the call-up of 2 flying Fijians reps and no place for Mosese Mawalu. Indra Singh has more.
The National Sevens coach has revealed his gladiators. The usual suspects are all named, and there is also a return for seasoned campaigner in Levan Imbotia.
You've got to make sure that they're fit enough and that he's worked hard to get into the side.
Also named is flying Fijians halfback Henry Seniloli, who could prove to be the missing link for Ryan.
Yeah, he's been on my radar for a while when I saw him playing 15s for Tailevu, and then obviously he went away with the Northern Tour. It's taken him a little bit of time to acclimatise back to sevens, and I've slowly seen him getting better and better. But like you say, he's a specialist halfback.
The mentor says his main selection points were based on how players will fit into his game plan in Vegas and Wellington.
I'm very lucky that I'm going to have headaches over the next coming weeks on who starts in each game because, we've got some very keen competition in a lot of areas.
The discipline and commitment of players in camp has also given the management a boost.
As Ben has mentioned to the boys, we're treating them as an adult persons, and we have some of the players that have been to the past tournaments. So our communication is that we communicate through the senior players and then the senior players to the junior players.
Coach Ben Ryan has named his 12 players to take Fiji to glory. What these players can deliver in Vegas and Wellington is yet to be seen. But all we know that this is his best ever squad chosen since his appointment in October. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Rugby Union says it does not want a repeat of the current saga of International Rugby Board funds being cut off. The union is now putting in place policies and measures to counter the problems of mismanagement and abuse.
I think what this has raised is this: if IRB provides direct funding and we don't manage it properly, it's a risk we at the board have to manage. We can engage with them and say, can you fund an overseas coach, a kicking coach, So the funding goes direct to that, and rather than direct monetary money being directed here, and then mismanagement happens. So I think in our re-engagement with IRB, we have to be sure how we re-engage to minimize the risk of direct funding being here at FRU.
These matters will be discussion points when the FRU next meets with IRB. And it's that time when the creme de la creme of local footballers put their district kits on. With fewer teams competing in the National Football League this year, the expectations of top brass action are very high. Old formats have been reintroduced, and as a result, the only advice from the organizers to district teams is to get serious early. Elaine McDonald has more.
Officials believe this year's National League will be the best on record.
The important point to note is that at the end of the league season, there will be automatic promotion relegation. The team that is at the bottom of the point table at the end of the year, in the end of the season, will go down. So they will have to take precaution. I'm sure nobody wants to be at the bottom.
Now reduced to 8 teams, fans are expected to gain more from more than just the on-field action.
The ball is actually in their court. They wanted it that way, and the league board has agreed that you can have your home and away. So the home district has to properly advertise, properly plan, and be a strong team to compete. If the team is losing, nobody's going to come and watch.
Big matchups are lined up starting Saturday. And for organizers, visiting Nausori will prove interesting.
It was closed for over a year, and we have not used it. We have now been told that the ground is ready, and this weekend Navua will host Rewa at the Kambao Park, and it'll give an opportunity to us to assess the park as well.
A lot more is at stake for teams this year, and with the slates wiped clean for a new season, Round 1 games is shaping up to be thrillers. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
The national Hobie sailing team is racing against time to send its sailors to Australia for the Hobie 16 World Championships. The task has become even harder with financial constraints that have forced them to take some severe cost-cutting measures. This includes reducing the number of participants they send. Talenda Dakadaka with the story.
The Hobie 16 World Championships is 2 weeks away, but our national sailors are facing a setback as to who will be participating.
We've managed to have 5 teams qualify for the Worlds and entered. At the moment we're facing a few difficulties in getting them there, although we found enough money to take care of all their in-Australia expenses, their license, their entry fees and boat charters and all the costs in Australia. But we are unable at this point to secure air seats into Sydney.
The veteran sailor says the team has managed to raise $15,000 to cover their expenses in Australia, but efforts will be in vain if they cannot send all the teams.
At this moment it looks like Fiji will only be able to send 2. We'll have to withdraw 3 teams, which is a bit of a shame because this is a World Championship and the boys have qualified.
Meanwhile, husband and wife Shane and Torika Brody, triple gold medalists from the recent Pacific Mini Games, are hoping that the issue will be solved in time for the meet.
2, possibly 3 other crews of the young boys that have been sailing. Often you see footage about them on TV, so we're at a bit of a stumbling block at the moment trying to obtain the sponsorship.
The World Championship's so close to Fiji in Australia. It's a great opportunity. It's a lot of the times we don't know when it's going to be in this side of the world again.
The Hobie 16 World Championships is scheduled to begin at the end of this month in Sydney, and officials are banking on some goodwill to send a full team across. Chalendo Dakadak, FBC Sports.
That's it from the sports desk tonight. Good evening.
Digicel Fiji will install e-ticketing machines in buses in 2 weeks' time. The company has bought equipment from Microelectronica in the Czech Republic, which has in turn hired Great Wall Security System services for installation and servicing. The e-ticket will be installed in several bus lines, including Pacific Transport, Raiwanga Buses Limited and Tembara Buses. Microelectronica project manager Jan Storek says their machines are automated industry approved and meet European standards. They are also user-friendly.
I just say, okay, I'm going from stage 1, and if I say exit the bus on stage 1, I just pay for the stage 1, okay? If I go farther, I just pay from the stage 1 to stage 3. So this is check-in, check-out system, which should be fair enough to the passengers, not to lose any money.
The ticketing consoles are said to be tough enough to work under any condition. Vodafone Fiji is the other company that provides e-ticketing services for passengers travelling on buses. Weather time now. And Jen, you know the showers you mentioned yesterday, they turned out to be thunderstorms.
Then I guess it's true, Jackie. The weather is like a woman. At times, conditions will be calm, and sometimes you just never know. And strangely enough, it was our 3 western centres over here that experienced the thunderstorms. Suva, Savasavu and Lambasa missed the heavy rain and had cloudy periods and showers instead. And there it is. One of our temperatures is in the 20s today. Didn't that take a while? So our lowest is 28 degrees in Suva, and our highest has also dropped from 34 to 32. I'm sure we all breathed a sigh of relief today. And it's thunderstorms all around tomorrow afternoon. There'll be bouts of fine weather in the morning, but be prepared for all the rain that's coming later on. And now for a break from the usual beautiful sunsets and sunrises, here's a shot of the picturesque My Suva Park. That park looks fabulous, by the way. What say I push you on the swings after work, Jackie?
Let's just leave the swinging to the kiddies. Thank you very much. The main points once again, the Electoral Commission members met for the first time today, and their priority is to sort out matters related to the elections office. A foreshore reclamation at Ladala Beach estate outside Suva is now on hold because the project has run out of funding. And the West Division reported a 6% increase in serious crimes in 2013. To our poll question now. This week we're asking, are people being serious about fire safety in their homes? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's news for tonight. Until tomorrow, good evening.
Old on Tower में it's only Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
बाके हर घर में खाली Mirchi FM बजे. Mirchi FM is hot.
Best sound, best music. Mirchi FM rocks and records.
नानी का #1 station है Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot. Mirchi FM it's #1 in nursery.
Mirchi FM is hot. हम लोग Mirchi FM रोज सुनता है. Mirchi FM जागो मामा. Mirchi FM